The Trump administration just made it so that the VA can reject services to veterans who are unmarried or who are Democrats. That is the headline that went viral yesterday because of a story from The Guardian. Now, what this is based on is that the Trump administration pushed down to over 170 hospitals within the VA system in order to revise their bylaws. And this order stripped legal protections, civil rights protections from certain classes of people. But I feel like a lot of people creating content on this app have kind of missed the mark on this and really focusing on this idea that the VA is suddenly going to stop serving Democrats is missing the forest for the tree. What we should be talking about is how this policy has already been implemented and who it's already brought harm to, and that is the trans veterans community and the broader LGBTQ plus community, but especially trans veterans. So what actually happened and what does this mean? Every hospital runs using bylaws. Bylaws dictate basically things like the code of conduct and how a hospital will operate. It's an expression of rules and values, and above everything else, it is supposed to dictate positive patient outcomes. Now, there's this nonprofit called the Joint Commission, which works to give hospitals their accreditation. And this nonprofit group, the Joint Commission, recently just passed a resolution reaffirming their commitment that hospital bylaws should not be changed without the medical providers of that facility having the opportunity to review and vote on these things. And again, I want to re-emphasize that even the VA system, though it is a federal system, every hospital has its own bylaws. Now, there is a lot of standard language. And what happened here is the VA took standard language, which included civil rights protections in hiring and in the application of veterans benefits, so health care and things like disability payments. And all of these VA hospitals had standard language saying that no hospital could discriminate according to things like race and sex and ethnicity and religion. Those are all protected classes, federally protected classes. There are civil rights laws that protect people from discrimination according to those lines. But these hospital bylaws also included things that are not federally protected, like marital status and national origin. Now, what the Trump administration and the political leadership within the VA is saying is that they were just complying with Donald Trump's executive order about protecting women. That's the anti-trans executive order that he signed on January 20th, the day that he was inaugurated. So that's the claim. But this executive order, as bigoted as it was, it didn't include anything about removing protections for people who are unmarried or disabled or according to their national origin. Sorry, I've got to pause 1 second. Miss Bubby, Miss Munchkin, hi, hello. I'm trying to do a video. Okay, I'm back. All right, now where was I? Yes. Okay. So what we should really be talking about is how this policy has already been implemented and how it has stripped veterans of their benefits and their rights to health care. Now, the comms shop within the VA has been coming out and saying, oh, no, this is propaganda. This is disinformation. Every eligible veteran will continue to receive the benefits and care that they deserve. But that word eligible is pretty impactful in this case, because the Trump administration has already used this policy, responded to this bigoted executive order by stripping trans veterans of their right to a complete suite of healthcare needs, like every other veteran gets. And when they did that, the Trump administration attempted to pit another vulnerable group of veterans against them, saying that we were going to stop treating gender dysphoria, this is what trans people have, and doing things like hormone therapy, and instead we will use that money that was allocated to those programs on disabled veterans who have spinal issues, paralyzed veterans. As a professional veteran advocate, someone who's been doing this for almost 2 decades, I can assure you that there is no shortage of money for the most disabled of veterans. And there is no reason that the Trump administration should be gutting one program to try and help another group of veterans. That's not the way that veterans benefits work. What the Trump administration is trying to do is to justify their bigotry by pretending that they want to care for the veterans that Donald Trump doesn't even want to see. Literally, when they're invited to his events or when he attends a veterans event and he sees disabled veterans, people with amputations or who are in wheelchairs, he says, and I quote, "No one wants to see that." Now, look, I know a lot of MAGA is going to come in here and say, oh, this is disinformation, this is not real. Well, I posted on my Substack the leaked memo that includes the instructions for all of these hospitals, which have already been making the changes to their bylaws. So you can visit my Substack, onoffense.substack.com, and you can read it for yourself. And for everybody else, when you're talking about this story, I really want you to stop talking about the Guardian's headline of saying Democrats are no longer going to get care at the VA. That is not what we should be talking about. We should be talking about the trans veterans who've already been denied care and the rest of the LGBTQ veterans who are made more vulnerable by this policy change. Because let's be real, I'm a registered Democrat. There is no fucking chance that the VA is taking my healthcare benefits. They are not going to be coming after straight white males. So let's decenter the political party thing and talk about those who are actually at risk.